let's see how that ends up looking. Alright. Just make sure it's focused. Cool.
Take a picture of me?
Initial recording.
Get her to make a funny face, dog. Get in the picture.
She's hiding. So the last time we were talking, we're on this new chapter called Love and Marriage.
Uh-oh.
And the last question I asked was, who do you consider your first true love? What was special about them? You said that Pat was grandma was the first one that was serious, and you weren't thinking about like leaving whatever situation you were in, because you had said there was another girl on the farm.
Yeah.
But it never got super serious, and
it could have or would have if I would have, but
yeah,
I wouldn't. I was still too young.
yeah.
She was young too, but she young with a lot more experience. She had lots of boys around her all the time.
Oh, okay.
More than I was sharing nothing like that.
You had said last time you were going to try to think of her name. Could you ever remember it?
What?
Her name?
Her name?
Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
It's not a big deal. It was just wondering.
Every time I do think about it, the name comes up, but I don't know if that's for real. Cindy, but
Cindy?
I don't think that's it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, last time you said it was maybe Cynthia or Cindy.
Did I say that?
You did.
Yeah, see, it's still coming up that instead of something.
So maybe Cynthia or Cindy. More. I mean, you said Cindy twice now, so
Yeah.
maybe. Next question. Based on your life experiences, how would you now describe those feelings of love?
How would I describe what?
Feelings of love.
Well, I got a lot of feelings about it now. Then, being a young kid, I just, new girl to play with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Grandma was the first person that I really thought about it, and thought about it seriously. Seriously, to ask her to marry me. And she never gave me an answer for the longest time. I've asked her several times. I said, "You got a problem with this question, or what's the deal with it?" She said, "No, I just want to be sure that you're sure and I'm sure." I said, "Well, I asked, so right there telling you, I am sure. I have intentions. They're not going to change. Now we got to figure out what you're doing."
Yeah.
When it got down to it, we were going to do something about it. I said, "We're going to do it, and if that means we got to jump in my car or something and go down the road somewhere and do it, or it happens here, I don't know, but it's got to have to happen."
Yeah. What did it feel like, though?
That girl on the farm?
No, Grandma.
Oh, Grandma?
Yeah.
That was a whole different. That was a feeling I never had before. I guess I liked girls and thought maybe I should be fooling with them. But when I got with Trish and met her, I didn't even think about getting in her pants or anything like that. I was comfortable with her just being around her and talking to her and going to the show with her and stuff like that.
What does that comfort feel like?
Oh, I just felt like that was the right thing. I mean, I never had that feeling about a girl. I had plenty of sisters, but I didn't grow up with them. I didn't even get to really see them, meet them till later. And she met some of them about the same time I did. And when she did, she realized, and they realized that they knew each other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my mom and the kids that were with her lived in that other building. Their building was here on 12th, and the other one was on Spruce right behind them.
Right.
And my parents lived in that building at one time. And for a short time, I lived there because when I got Mary took me over there, I got to meet my mom, and I ended up hanging out there for a while. And that was surprising to Trish that these people are family of mine. I guess so. I'm just finding this out myself.
Well, maybe.
Because then I started telling her my story. I knew I had 8 or 9 sisters, and I knew I had several brothers, but how many, not exactly known, until I started meeting them and then finding all that out.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing. It was a hard thing to get used to, but I kept coming around because I wanted to meet them and find out what they're like.
Your siblings?
Huh?
Your siblings?
Do what?
Your siblings?
Yeah. And find out for a while if they were living right in the other building from my parents.
Right.
I mean, she was from my parents.
Right. Was it pretty easy for you guys to talk? Like, just conversate?
Me and her?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought she was at least my age or I even thought maybe she's older than me.
Yeah.
Come to find out she was much younger than me. That was when I found out.
You
I
said
didn't
she was
believe-
tall.
Huh?
You just said she was tall, right? For her
She's a
age.
big girl.
Yeah.
And she did everything. So that made me think she must be something other than just a little girl because she did everything that Lola and Curly needed. She did all the cooking, the washing, she did everything for them. They didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
They'd help if they could or wanted to, but they didn't have to because she wanted to take care of them and she did. Really told me I need to go home one day. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something, Curly. Hey, don't hit me, don't get upset. But as far as I'm concerned, I am home. So what do you mean you don't live here? My parents live right over there, and I got brothers and sisters around here. And yeah, it's pretty close to my home right now. And I said, what does that mean? I said, well, that means that you like it or not, I'm going to marry your daughter. And one way or the other, you can try to stop it or go along with it because you ain't going to stop it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. And later that evening, he went up, I didn't even know, went up and told Lola. And I said I was going to marry her. And she told him, well, you could have asked me something like that and I'd have told you that. How would you have told me that? Because I see them and I know what Bob's like and I know what she's like. and they're not doing anything illegal. They're just, he loves her and she loves him, and they're friends, and they like to go places, do things together, but nothing that's gonna cause any problems. And I was shocked when they told me how old she was. I didn't believe that.
Yeah.
I went and asked other people, and then I went and asked Lola. Yeah, she's 12. I said, 12? I would have never guessed that, because she does everything here for you. She always has. We try to do stuff and want to do stuff, but she tells us go sit down, and she will cook our meal, and she'll bring it to us.
Yeah.
And she took care of the house, made the bed, did everything. They cleaned the apartments, because they ran the apartments, Lola did.
Mm.
So that was their job, but they didn't do much of it.
Yeah.
Pat did it. Somebody moved out, she went in, cleaned it, straightened it all up.
Did you ever help her with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I see her I seen her every day.
Yeah. Because I know you said that you used to do some of the maintenance around.
Oh yeah. Hi. Hi there, buddy. Every day they walk by me, they hide me.
It's nice that there's a family that goes for walks like that. I like to.
There's a lot of them in there that do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There's several couples that in their walk, they stop and pick up another person. And I mean, by the time they get here, they might have 4 people. But when I see them again,
Yeah.
an hour later, after they've been all around things, there might be 8 or 10 people.
Oh, that's cool.
Very good. I got a smaller piece than that, and I'm still chewing it. You did it up and down twice and swallowed.
Any other feelings? Any other ways to describe the feelings of love? Besides comfort?
Well, and again, I don't think I even thought it was. You know, I didn't know what love was.
Yeah.
I just thought, I got a great friend here. You know, and I'm gonna keep it. And I'm gonna keep a thing like this.
Next question, do you currently know anything, I don't know, this is a weird question, do you currently know anything about this person, but we're talking about grandma, so I'm pretty sure you know.
I knew about everything I needed to know about her at the time.
Yeah.
Which was, she was a good person, friendly, somebody I wanted to be around. I didn't know how much about love or anything, but I knew something was happening and it was pretty good. And I'm going to just hang in here and see how this goes. I asked her several times. You thought about that question? What question is that? Are you going to marry me? Well, ain't you asking that a little early? I said, I don't know.
When's the right time?
Yeah, I didn't know it was early or late. It come in my head and I wanted to say it, so I did.
This question is, who was your worst heartbreak? And what happened?
Well, my best friend that I grew up with when I was on the farm with those people, those Italian people, they only had one son and he lived it. They gave him 10 acres and built the house for him. And he was just a little bit from them. And I grew up with his kids and his one son, Vince, was probably my best buddy. You know. He eventually was killed in Vietnam.
Your best friend, Vince?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I didn't know that till several years later when I come back and I remember checking things out. And I went up by the school and there was a thing out front of the school, plaque of heroes and stuff, and he was right there on the top of the list with his name. And I asked, what's his name doing here? And he said he died in Vietnam.
Where was that list at?
Huh?
Where was that list at?
Where was what?
The list? Where was that list at?
That was on the stone, on the thing that they had there.
At the
School.
at the school.
Yeah.
Okay. And you said you didn't find out until years later.
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't, I guess that maybe they didn't have the fun or whatever to put something up right away, but when they did, they got something and put it up there and put several other people's names on it that passed too at that time.
Where was he your friend at? At the boys' home? Or at the farm?
At the farm.
Okay. Was he on the farm with you, or was just a friend at school?
He was the son of the one son that raised me. The couple that raised me had one son.
Oh, okay.
And he got married, and they gave him 10 acres of the property and built a house on it for him, and he lived there. So I got to know all those kids, his daughters and all his sons.
So he was the grandson of the people that owned the farm, that ran the farm? When you say he was your best friend, what does that mean to you?
He was my best friend. I really didn't have many other people that I had friends like that at that time.
Yeah.
And because I seen him every day, he was with me every day. You know, he was part of the family that I lived with. You know, he was the son of their son.
Right. Do you remember any like specific things that you guys did that like really stood out to you? If you think back, and any event that was like really fun or really bad or really...
Well, growing up on the farm, for us, fun things was because we could drive. We could drive anything, and it was legal. And we'd take tractors, go into town, do whatever, drive around, come back, mark, whatever. We did all kinds of stuff together. Played sports together with him.
How old was he when you, like, in comparison to your age? Was he older or younger?
No, we were like about the same age.
Okay. So about it makes sense that you guys became friends.
Yeah.
And then, so did you know that he had gone to Vietnam before you found out that he had been killed?
No, because I had left there, and I hadn't been back for a while because I was here, there, and everywhere,
Yeah.
and starting to find my own family.
Mm.
And then I went back, and one of the first things I did was I got to go right past the high school, and that school was everything from kindergarten all the way up. It was one school.
Mm.
And when I got there, I seen that thing out front, and I went out and I read it to see what that was, because it was new. And it was a memory. It was for a couple fellas from that town that died in Vietnam.
Mm.
And he was right up there at the top of that list. And it shocked the shot me. And then when I got down to the house there and talking to his sister and stuff, she said, "You didn't know that?" I said, "No, I didn't know that. I hadn't been back here in a while, and I didn't know it." I stopped at the school when I coming in, and I seen that new thing out front of the school, and I went up to see what it was. Started reading names on it and what it was about. Realized that he had perished over there. He was killed in Vietnam.
Mm.
Good kid.
Do you have a specific memory of how you were introduced to Grandma? Like the first time you ever met, do you remember how that went down, or?
Yeah, nobody introduced me to her. She lived up there in that building on the third floor, and I'd see her all the time. And I would hang out sometimes sitting on that bottom step, because my family in the other building. She'd come down, started talking to her, and then we started talking every day. That's how I met her. And when I asked her how old she was and she told me, that freaked me out, because yeah, right, now how old are you? That's how old I am. Told me the year she was born and everything. And then I asked some people, and they told me the same thing. She was 12. I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
I don't think any of my brother and sister realized that she was 12.
Yeah.
I can't remember how old I was at that time.
Well, what year was Grandma born? 51?
I think so.
You were born in 48, so that's 3 years. So, so if she was 12, then you were 15, around there.
Yeah.
Depends on like what month we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you guys weren't too far apart in age. So it wasn't like anything. There wasn't any like dramatic moment where you like fell down a flight of stairs in front of her and you said, "Hey, my name's Bob," and she said, "Hi, my name's Pat." It just became a thing where you guys talked every day and.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to go to the drive-in. And I asked her if she had been to the drive-in, and she hadn't. I said, "Would you like to go to the drive-in with me?" And we're getting there. I don't know. Maybe I'll drive, or maybe we'll ride somebody. We'll figure it out. I said, yeah. That's one of the first things we did. We went to the drive-in together.
So that was like maybe what you have considered your first date.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't even think about midday dinner. I didn't even thought about that.
Yeah. We'll just call it one of the first things you guys did outside of your normal environment. Do you remember what movie it would have been? Or what would have been out at the time, or what kind of movie it was, or anything like that?
I don't even remember that.
Did anybody else go with you guys, or was it just you two?
No, I ended up going with my sister, Mary, and her husband, Wayne. We rode with them in the car and that in the back seat, and then they sat up front and we watched the movie and talked. And out and walked around a little bit.
Do you remember anything like specific, like maybe what you ate? I mean, I don't know if there was popcorn that you guys that had served, or anything that you has brought to eat, or anything like that, or
No.
it was just there and back.
We ate whatever they had there. I bought sandwiches or
Okay.
stuff like that.
Did you go there very often?
No, not at first, because it was almost like her family, she had older members in her family that I was friends with, and she was, but they weren't doing that a lot neither. But they started, and we started going with them.
What qualities about Grandma made you attracted to them, to her?
Just her personality. She was a friendly person. She loved sports and stuff. We used to go down to Cobo Hall and places when they had wrestling in town, and we'd go to wrestling matches. We watched that on TV a lot.
What you said she loves sports. What kind of sports? Besides wrestling.
Well, she played sports at school. Whatever sports she could get into. And she was on track team there and all that kind of stuff. And I used to go to it and watch her.
She was on the track team?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And she was in pretty good shape at the time. She wasn't crazy fat or anything. She was pretty strong, pretty good shape. She could do about whatever she wanted.
Yeah. When did you know it was love?
Well, I said something right from the beginning, but I didn't talk about it. I held it in and tried to figure this out first. Is this for real? Is this what happened? Am I gonna say something or not say nothing yet? I don't want to blow something, say something, and then it ain't, and I mess things up really bad.
Yeah.
Waited it out a while, and then I just told her one of these days we're gonna have to change things up. And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I like coming over here and seeing you, but I want to do more than that." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I want to marry you. I want to have our own place. We can be close to your parents, we can be close to mine or whatever, but I want me and you to be an item." She was all for that right from the day I said that. It worked out. It was a good thing. And I never did anything like that before. I hung out with girls before, went to dances with them at school, but never took one on as my girlfriend or gave her a ring or anything, you know. But that was the first one that I ever did anything like that. And she got a job when she was still going to school. She got a job. It was down at, I think it was Kresge's or one of those places down in downtown Detroit.
Okay.
And
What is that?
huh?
Is it like a restaurant or something?
No, it was like a drugstore, apartment store, all kinds of stuff like
Oh, okay.
that.
Gotcha.
And she worked there, and I used to go down there and hang out all the time. I'd hang out around outside, not bothering her, just knowing she knew I was around. And when she got done, she'd come out, and we might go get a bite to eat, or we might head back over to her house right away. But I always made sure she got home, made sure she got there safe.
What did she do? What was her job there?
Well, she was a salesperson. You know, she handled about anything you wanted at that place, or you know, she could get you in touch with the right people and get you involved in getting you whatever you wanted, or you know, she had a pretty decent job there.
Was it a big store?
Yeah, it was a pretty big store at the time.
Okay.
Took up a good part of the whole bottom part of that building.
Oh, okay. There was other things above it.
Oh yeah.
Were there apartments or something? Or
There was some of that too, up higher, you know.
Okay. And where was that? That was in Detroit?
Yeah, downtown Detroit.
Okay.
I don't know if you know anything about downtown Detroit, where the bus station was down there, anything. Well, all the buses that ran around on the streets came into a place right downtown. And you could get off and be downtown. Or you stay on and you take the damn thing back around and back down wherever you came from. So it was easy enough for us to get around.
Some kind of like tram or something?
It was a bus there.
Oh, gosh.
It was a bus. And because she was in school, she got a thing right from the beginning of the year that took care of her for that whole year. She just showed that, and she was on the bus.
Okay.
And anybody with her, I was with her, I was on the bus with her. We traveled like that all everywhere.
Where else did you guys go besides like her job, her work?
Found out that they had family in Kentucky. and they were wanting to go down there and this and that, and they always had to find somebody else in the family that was close enough and had room enough to take them. And sometimes they could go, and sometimes they couldn't. And I asked them, I thought you were going. Well, they didn't have room, this and that, or whatever. So I made sure they had room. That's when I decided to buy something that would take us there and back. And I got a vehicle that could do that. So, and I ended up driving them down there and back.
What family did she have in Kentucky? Was that like Lorraine or?
No, she lived up here at the time.
Oh, she lived in Detroit with them?
Well, just outside of Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At one time, she lived down there at those buildings.
Okay.
Reens did, but then she moved out. Her and Silvis, and got their own house. And
Was that her husband?
who? Silvis?
Silvis?
Yeah.
That was her husband?
That was Reens' husband.
Okay. Did you guys get along pretty well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a Mason, 32nd degree Mason,
Okay.
and I had family in the Masons at the time,
Okay.
and one time my dad was in it too, but he got out of it, and I never got into it, because by the time that I was old enough or could have wanted to or thought about it, there was other conditions that thinking I might have to change things, and I wasn't about to change things. Like, they didn't want a Catholic, they weren't looking for religious people. They had their own kind of religious stuff, and I wasn't getting rid of the Catholic stuff that I grew up with just because I wanted to belong to that. I could still be their friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who was her family in Kentucky?
Her family in Kentucky, she had Mammal Smith.
Okay.
You know,
That was her grandma.
Yeah, Lola's mom.
Right.
Yeah. And she had uncles down there that lived right there close to them. Up there on that hill. Her uncle lived up on a house over, and he raised his family there.
Okay.
He had 2 boys.
Like right there next to it, or
Yeah.
a little further down?
When you went up the hill,
Yeah.
top of the hill, when you got top of the hill where Lola's out, where her house was, right there, just off to the, you looked over to your left or right, his house was right there at the top of the hill. As you came up, you passed it actually. His driveway and his parking spot was there. You know, a little bit. See my dog out there?
Yeah, she's down there.
Bailey, get up here.
Bailey.
Bailey, come here.
I'll go get her. Bailey, come on.
Come on, Bailey. You get in here. I didn't know you was out there. You lay down.
She's like, what? I was just snoring.
She's a good girl. She don't go anywhere, but so pay attention to her.
So who was it that lived across the street from Mammal Smith?
Where her house is, that was Russell.
Russell? Oh, okay.
That was her son. You know, Mammal Smith, Lola's brother. And his wife and 2 kids lived there.
Is that the same house that Dakota and his parents lived in? Do you remember they lived, like, as soon as you came up the hill, it was right there on the right. It was
Yeah,
like,
that was the house.
That was the house? Okay. That's cool.
They owned that house for a long time. They might have even had it built there. That one time they lived in Lola's house.
The last time I looked up what that house looks like, they built. Do you remember where the carport is on that house? they enclosed that. It's like a part of the house now.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. But then you can see, like on Google Maps at least, you can see Mamo's house. It's like completely boarded up. Like not like that nobody's living there, but they covered up all the windows in the front. That
I don't know why they did that.
I'm recording, but when maybe I can show it to you after. But it looks kind of janky now.
I remember them being boarded up, but
Yeah.
possible.
Because there's other family that lives there now, right?
It still belongs to them.
Right.
Yeah. Her cousins, Freddie, and his wife, they lived there for a while.
Right.
Different people.
I'll just do a couple more. When and where did you get engaged?
I don't know. Wasn't like we got engaged and I gave her an engagement ring or something like that. I just told her that we're gonna do this. It's gonna be down the road sometime. I haven't figured out the exact date. You can think about it too. And we'll come up with something. You know, talk to your parents about it then too or whatever. Curly was shocked though. I mean, just one day he asked me, when are you going home? I said, hell, I'm here more than you are. He said, I know. I said, well, Curly, if you don't know it or not, I'm going to marry that girl, your daughter, one of these days. And I'm going to take her and we're going to get our own place. And later that day or the next day, I went upstairs to her mom and dad's place and found out that he had told Lola that I was fixing to marry her. And Lola said, yeah, and I told him, well, I know that, and he didn't have to tell me that. He's been hanging around with Pat forever, and he's not doing anything wrong. Everything they need. I mean, when they needed to go somewhere because there was something happening down south, they didn't have a whole lot of money. I had the money saved up. I had money saved up, and I would go get them $200,
Yeah.
$500, $600, $700, and say, here, go on down there. I did that a lot, and I wouldn't let her pay me back a dime. They were good people. Dad, oh, she was.
What did your parents think about the engagement?
They never told me what they thought about it, other than, well, we figured that was gonna happen. Because I wasn't changing girls.
Were they still living in the apartments?
They were still living around there
Around
somewhere.
there somewhere.
Yeah. They had moved out of there before we were married and lived several blocks away. You know, we could walk there and visit them anytime.
How long did you know each other before getting married?
Had to be. I'm probably hanging around there for a couple years, 2 or 3 years, because my family lived close too, and I was always over there. Now, I could have stayed there anytime I wanted, you know. Her parents treated me just like I was one of theirs. They were good to me. She had good mom and dad.
Do you remember what year you guys got married?
Well, off the top of my head, no, but I probably got it down somewhere.
Where did you get married?
Got married in a little church right up there off of Trumbull. Just went in and talked to the priest one day and told him this is what we're planning on doing. And when I come up here, next time I come up here, I'll bring her along with me so you can meet her. And long after I then talked to those people that everything was good to go, and we did.
Everything good to go? You mean like marriage certificate and all that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys waited to get the certificate before you got married?
Oh yeah, we went and bought it and got that, yeah. So they could do whatever they had to do at the priest or whatever. And they stamped it or what, I don't remember. I'm sure we got it somewhere.
Yeah. What kind of church was it? Denomination?
I asked her at that time, did it matter to her? And she said, did it matter to you? I said, no. I'm Catholic, but I'm anything. I can go to any church. It's just as long as I'm talking to God when I want to talk to him, whatever. It don't have to be a special place. I don't even have to go. I could do it just at home. You know. Told her where we were gonna do it and how it would be done. She was okay with it.
You think it was like a Baptist church or like a Pentecostal church, or none of that really stood out?
I don't remember.
Yeah. You said it was off of Trumbull?
The church?
Yeah.
Trumbull, Grand River area, yeah.
But it was pretty close to the apartments?
Yeah.
One last question.
Nothing was too close. I mean, but they walked everywhere they went.
Yeah.
If they went downtown Detroit, they walked.
You talking about Grandma's family?
Lola and
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the first person that had a vehicle that could take them anywhere they wanted to go, whenever they wanted to go.
Yeah. Well, Lola, Mama never drove, right?
No.
Because I remember when we would spend time with her in Kentucky, like for the summer, she had friends that would drive her around.
Yeah. She drove my car in Kentucky when we were down there. I said, you drive it? I'm sitting right here with you. We drove around. She wasn't dumb. I told her what needed to be done and had to be careful and don't get up on top of nobody and don't drive too fast. She did real good. Just being around people driving all that time, I guess she knew how to be safe, and she was.
Yeah. As long as you're aware of your surroundings, a lot of that stuff is kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But also, I can see why it would be scary. Who was in your wedding? Either stood up there with you or just sat in the church pew or something. And you don't have to give me the full list or anything, just like families.
I don't even know if there was more than one or two of my brothers or sisters.
Okay.
And I don't even remember if my mom and dad were around. They were around, but I don't think they were at the wedding or not.
Because you didn't invite them, or they didn't want to go, or what?
Oh, I invited everybody. They got all went if they wanted to go.
Yeah.
But they could do whatever they wanted. I wasn't forcing nothing on them. I wasn't changing my mind about what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But
Forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, but it seems like even after you reconnected with them, they weren't, they didn't really put a lot of effort into your relationship.
with my mom and dad,
Yeah.
well, when I left them, I was little.
Yeah.
I was probably the last time I left them and didn't see them till many years later. I was probably 7 or something, 6 or 7, when I was taken from there, and then we were put in a boys' home, a place where my sisters and that, we were all together, close ones I could see, wave, talk to them, but didn't actually live with them or anything, just knew they were here and there. And I figured out how to keep in touch and how to find them whenever I needed to.
So, could you give me a number of how many people attended the wedding? Approximate.
Maybe 6 or 7. Wasn't a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
She had family down south that didn't very well could get around down there, let alone find a way up to Michigan,
Right. The majority of the people, did you have friends that came, or was it just her family, or?
I didn't have any friends. Members of my family, if they wanted to, they were invited, but didn't mean any of them came, but they were close enough after we were that we got together and stuff.
Yeah. Well, her family.
Her family, there wasn't really many people around up there,
Yeah.
other than her and Curly and Lola.
Did Curly and Lola come to the wedding?
I don't think so. I think after we got married, we went up there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, okay. Just had like a little get together afterwards?
Yeah.
That's... Did anybody show up unexpectedly to the wedding?
No, I was surprised the ones I asked to come showed up. I didn't know if any of those would show up.
Why were you surprised?
Because we were distant for so many years. And then when I found them, it was years later, and knew where they were, and I'd go visit them whenever I could and stuff. But
Right.
it was strange. Wasn't like how I raised my kids or anything, you know. I showed up, they were happy to see me, you know. Hi, how you doing?
With your kids?
Huh?
With your kids?
I don't know if we had any kids yet when we first.
So you're saying it was different from how you raised your kids. So you're saying that your kids were happy to see you when you came home and stuff,
Oh yeah.
but it wasn't the same for your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause we were separated from them all for a long time, and we just started flowing back in a little at a time, you know.
Yeah. Did you have any resentment towards your parents because they gave you up, or you were taken away, or?
No, I don't
Any of
think
that?
they had much of a choice, because neither one of them were educated enough to have jobs that were worth anything. I mean, for manual type work, my dad could do it, and he did it. And my mom, she didn't work, I don't think, anywhere, other than she worked for people around them, like she did their laundry, their ironing, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Did it? So it was it just because you were so young when you were taken away that you didn't? Did you? I guess what I'm getting at is, like, did it ever really affect you, like, emotionally or anything like that you had been taken away, or?
No, I mean, because I didn't see him after I was taken away,
Yeah.
put into places, and I learned to go to school there and became part of that. And I was okay. I knew I had family, but that was something I knew was going to have to come along one of these days. When I got up to the age where I could, I would go find them and stuff, you know. I had a couple of them that found me, was looking too, you know. Jack was already, he was pretty close to not going anywhere when we were taken, because he was of age that he went into the Air Force. And I mean, I know he went to court, and they were going to put him somewhere, this and that, and he told me, he says, well, I might have a problem with that. And they said, what do you mean? He says, I already volunteered for the Air Force, and I already got a date to go in. And they were shocked, and who did this for you? Nobody. I did it myself. It's what I wanted to do, is education for me, and something I wanted to do, and he did it. And I found out that's where he was, and then he found out where I was at. He would send me letters from wherever he was around the world when he was different places in the Air Force.
Yeah.
He spent a couple years down in Puerto Rico, different places in Europe, everywhere, but he always came back, and we always found everybody. Everybody, we all knew we had a situation that was strange, but we weren't going to lose everybody. We were going to keep this together as tight as we could until the day we were not involved with them, and then we will be involved with them.
Right.
And it worked out. We did.
Do you feel like you ended up having the type of relationship with your siblings that you wanted, or did you feel like maybe the effort that you put into it was more than what others were, or did you think about any of that?
No, I think once I started that, I realized they were just as happy that I've come around, you know, and it all worked out great for us.
There has to be some kind of mutual feeling of like some kind of hole that wasn't filled, you know, because you didn't get to. There's obviously another part. There's these other people that have the same genetics as you, you know, but you can't, you know, you weren't there all the time with them, and you lost all those memories. So were there siblings from like the original side of like before you were taken, you know, the original siblings that you had? Were there any siblings that you didn't ever reconnect with?
No, I eventually connected with everybody.
Okay.
And to this day, I still do.
Okay.
You know, there was times before I was married that I would go and stay with them sometimes.
Right.
For a short time. Got to know them, they got to know me better. I invited them up to Ferndale where I lived when I bought the house.
You said Jack lived in like Indiana or something?
He lived in Indiana. He was in the Air Force at the base there, and just outside of Kokomo, there was an Air Force base there. And he was stationed on the base there for a long time. And then once they got married, he moved into the house and went into the base every day as often as he had to and everything to keep that going.
Right. Did you, were there siblings you were closer with than others?
Well, only because there was some that it took me a while before I got to meet them. So I was knowing some of them for a year or two before I knew the other ones were out there, but hadn't found them or got a chance to get to where they were at to meet each other for a bit. Mm-hmm. As soon as we did, it worked out.
Yeah, were there any siblings that you just didn't like at all?
No, everybody was happy to see everybody. It seemed like.
That's awesome.
They all had their memories and they all remembered us as much as we remembered them, but then it stopped and they weren't seeing none of us anymore until we started hooking back up and it all worked out good. It's nothing I want to put my kids through or anything.
Well, being separated from your family?
Yeah. But I don't know what it was with them. I know my mom didn't like him going to work. She would find a way to keep my dad home every day if she could. Maybe to help raise the kids, or maybe just she wanted the company. She didn't want him off somewhere else. And he managed to do what he had to do to keep it together.
I think that's a good place to end it for today. We're still a couple more pages until we get to the next chapter, but I think that'll probably...
What's the next chapter?
The next chapter is all in the family. And the first question is, who do you know from each of the preceding generations of your family? It says great-grandparents, grandparents. Do you have any children? What are their names and ages? So it'll be focused on the family then.
Yeah, there in the beginning when I got back, I got to meet my dad's parents, my grandparents. They lived over on the west side of the state. And Mary knew where they were, and she had been seeing them. So she took me over there, and I met them. Got to be close friends with them. until they passed, you know. They were good people, but they know my mom and dad had a rough time and didn't, I guess, really didn't know any better how to get out of it or do whatever. Running and hiding was probably their best thing.
What do you mean by that?
Getting away from people that was after them and us.
Who was after them and you guys?
The courts and stuff, trying to put us in homes
Oh.
and stuff. I remember when me and Jack and Chris and the other brothers and sisters, when we all lived together down there in Detroit, we would go out and put all our pennies together, everything we could that we made during the day, and put it all together. And several days down the road, there'd be a good chunk of money there, and we'd give it to my mom and dad to go get us groceries, do whatever. They appreciated that. Like my mom and dad just didn't know what to do. They had too many kids too fast and didn't know what to do with them.
They weren't ready. What is that?
What time is it?
7:15.
In the evening?
Yep.
Holy moly.